Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Michael, or as the grandkids call me, Roo. Hey, thanks for joining me on Roodoodles. That's me. That's what I do. It's a noun. It's a verb. I was explaining this to a good friend the other day. Roodoodles. He said, "What is it?" I said, "Well, I'm Roo and I doodle, so that's Roodoodles. So that's me, Roodoodles. But Roodoodles are also my paintings. But Roodoodles is a verb. So Roodoodles, Roodoodles." Yeah, I just discovered it. It wasn't something that I thought about and did this big marketing plan on. Top of the morning to you. Thanks for joining me for Roodoodles Live. And yes, it's only tea that I have in my cup. Drinking out of not even one of my cups yet. They're not here, but I'll tell you more about them. They're coming. It's going to look like this, except it's going to have a rooster head on it. This is Dean and DeLuca. I'm drinking out of this because they didn't just roll up their doors, they rolled up the sidewalk and took it out too. In fact, there's a new building where they were, so they're gone. I'm missing nice pizza in their oven every now and then. It was only a mile and a half from here. That was good. Let me say hello to you. Thank you for jumping on this morning. It's Saturday morning, and you tell how you tell I'm an artist because I just don't care about my hair. Actually, that's not true. It's clean. It's just all over the place. And the second pair of glasses are just my headband today. So I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, the guy doesn't know where his glasses are. And I just ordered a new pair yesterday. These, my son gave me. He works for Coca-Cola. That's the baby boy, the moose, we call him. Big old strong guy. Mercy, hammer thrower in college. He works for Coca-Cola. So he gave me these cool Coca-Cola sunglasses. And I'm going like, I don't think they're working. But one of the lenses fell out, and they were a promotional deal, And so I just took the second lens out and I started wearing them one day. Well, actually, I put them on by mistake one day and I was reading. I went, ah. And then I just thought, they make a great headband today. So that's what I'm doing. Let me say hi to some of you. You got to be kidding me. It's 8:57 in Alabama too. Ash, save your batteries, you knucklehead. Hey, my friend Michael Ashburn, who was on the show the other day, and I showed you a video of him and Miss Hutton, and that dude was talking about, he's doing a walk right now. He's doing 54 miles by himself. Well, except for social media. He's doing a walk from the Pettus Bridge in Alabama to Montgomery Courthouse steps, and he's doing it to raise money for Black teenagers all over the country for a ministry called Young Life. And he's a crazy person. And he opens up in the morning with kind of here's where I am and a prayer. And he does a noonday piece. And then he does a bedtime story at night. Anyway, that brother he's on a mission. He's on a mission to raise $540,000 to bring in a staff person and buy some vans and help some teenagers in Atlanta. And I said, well, Atlanta, but you're walking in Alabama. And he goes, yeah, because of the great march that happened there years ago. He's had this passion on his heart for a while. That's why he came to spend a few days with me. We worked on some podcast and equipment. And so he's all geared up. And now I just see his name pop up here. You paint, I'll walk. Brother, I love you much. He's a dear brother of mine. And so Ash is walking. In fact, you know what? Before the day's over, I shared one last night, but I'll share a piece of his story. So you can see it again. Michael Ashburn, if you want to follow Ash on his walk. And I love it, man. It just popped up there. I just see it. Good morning from Veracruz. Robert Small, thank you for joining me. Carol Todd Mundy, hello. Laura Bush, it's Belushi. Belushi, I love that. Belushi maybe, but Belushi. Got my cuppa, got my paints. Good morning to you. Patricia, Virginia McClure. Alex, man, the moon is still round. Alex, no kidding. Where you are, brother, it's still dark, okay, out on the coast of California. Belinda, welcome. Linda, Annette, good morning, sunshine. Annette, I did mail your paintings a couple days ago, and I said paintings. You got a surprise coming to you. Shanlin, thank you. Barbara Butler, Cindy, good grief. Heidi, thank you, Heidi. Randall Taylor Craven, I see that painting there. It looks familiar. Donna Sil Barton. I love that you guys have all your names in there. Karen, Janice Scott, Sue Oler, Lee Patkus from Orlando. Thank you for your notes every now and then, man. I appreciate it. Vim, Ash, I said hello to you, but I'm going to say it again. Hey, save the batteries. Give us a post later today. I'm not going to paint anything that you haven't seen. A rooster, you mountain man. Yesterday, Ash told me that he saw 2 raccoons, an armadillo, I think, a deer, a rattlesnake, and a possum, but they were all pancaked. I said, well, gosh, God's providing food on the road. So I'm praying for you as you walk, brother. In fact, I just sent you a text about 7 o'clock this morning. Tamberly Marie, oh man, I'm going to mess this name up, but I love it. Earl Grey cup in your tea, and I appreciate you saying Earl Grey. I got to tell you a story, and it's Fiorentino Lady Di. Listen, I had some people, I went to a little tea shop one day in Columbus, Ohio, and the lady said, oh, sir, how can I help you? A fancy little place, pistachio something, and it was chocolate croissants or croissant. That was just fabulous. And I said, could I get a cup of black tea? And she said, oh, yes. We have the best Earl Grey. And I said, excuse me? I said, I asked for black tea. She said, oh, we have Earl Grey. And I said, no, I asked for black. And she said, well, it's Earl Grey. And I said, well, here's the thing. Look, I'm getting ready to sit down here and paint some watercolor. And if I use gray instead of black, the people are going to know it. So if you put gray in my cup instead of black, I'm going to know it. And she goes, wow, I never thought of that. And I go, just think about it for a second. You have some black tea? Yep, so I got gray. It's like, do you have red tea? Like South African red tea? No, I've got green. Oh, perfect. No, it's not perfect. So I'm glad you're having Earl Grey, but I can't go there. It's a little too much frou-frou for me. Jane Fay, good morning to you. Beautiful day in Indiana. I hope so, because it's peppering rain here, as they say. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Virginia. Chip Fur, his coffee's ready. And by the way, Chip, your coffee's going to be in some of the hands of, I'm sure, some of the Roost Crew people in a couple of weeks. Chip and Cherry are dear friends of mine who own Climb's Roast, and we're going to label some coffee that Chip gets up and roasts coffee. And I mean, I don't mean just roast a few beans. I mean a few hundred beans. And it's roasted. I brought that coffee home the other day, put the water on, ground the beans. I mean, it had only been ground an hour before, or roasted an hour before. The bag was still warm. And I roasted that stuff, and man, it was good. I mean, it would just about make a coffee drinker out of a tea. And I was for years. I still drink coffee every now and then. But for my morning push through, I just drink some tea. I mean, I got to get up here and paint with something. Sandra Stone, Marion Jones, thank you for jumping on board. Bob, thank you. Just sent you a note. Saw the response. Neil Mowry, welcome to you, buddy. Go Ash, Skeeter Pal. Saw your note on there. Thank you, buddy. Hey, Skeeter, hope you're doing well. Diana, good night. There's so many of you here. I'm going to say about 10 more, and then I'm going to start painting because it's already almost 10 after 9. Morning from Haiti. Margie the Splatter King, or Queen, I should say. Alice Jordan, welcome. Denise, Judy, thank you for jumping on again this morning. Carol Hodges, Ann Westra from Minnesota, where they drink pop. Yeah, and Verner's ginger ale, you betcha. I love that stuff. I love it when you put that Verner's up to your nose and he goes, whoa, man, it just kind of makes your, I love that. Ruth Ann Godey, thank you for being here. Donna Bellick, Susan Foster, Joanne Vitelio, Judy Y'all. These are great names. Don't you just love names? It wasn't, I tell you, God's creative. Jamie Rice, Raylan, Yvonne. All right, here we go. I'm going to get started. I'll come back and say hi to some of you. You're jumping on faster than I can read, which when you grow up in East Tennessee, that's not saying a lot because I don't read that fast. Okay, but I'm going to get there. Hey, let me show you what the desk looks like this morning. So thank you for jumping on. I got so many people I want to catch up with. Also, what I do, especially it's Saturday today, I will take another cup of tea after the show this morning, and I will sit down and I'll go back through. If you have any questions that I missed over or skipped or missed you, then I'll try to come back and answer those later. It's just kind of what I do to connect so that you go, hey, I asked that guy something and he never responded. It's because he's fast brain and he tries to do too many things at once. He's just wired that way. So, and he's talking about himself like he's in third person. All right. Elsie, thank you for being on here. And Tina and Jan and Nicole. Woohoo! All right, here we go. Marion Jones says she has a grandson in Plano, so she's talking to somebody. I love it. Linda Reagan, violinist, Minnesota. I love that. Okay, here we go. Let me move this over. Let me show you what the desk looks like. It's just laying here. It says it's showtime. Man, I painted this a long time ago, and it sets up in the window down at the art bar. You know, I've moved from the art bar up to here because that way Carol can have breakfast with friends, or I got another granddaughter over, and so it allows me to kind of behind this backdrop that you see me in front of. You're going like, where is that guy? I'll give you the right button. This backdrop here, that's just a drop. Behind there is another stand-up desk with an editing computer and all my hard drives and a storyboard wall that I actually worked through. So I had a lot of video shoots this week. So I'll be editing most of all next week. So if you're late getting a painting from me, if you're wondering, why does that artist not send out his stuff? It's because there's a queue to my life, a lineup, a list, a to-do list, a thing that runs down here, there, and everywhere. And so I'm trying to get to it all and trying to also do what I love like you are. You're balancing life. You're on that teeter-totter and you're looking to put, be careful. All right, here we go. Let me show you what the picture-in-picture looks like. Oh, there it is right there. And oh, wait, you got to see this, right? I keep this handy. And by the way, some of you have sent me your artwork, and I'm putting up another board over there. I don't have it up, but I have it laid on another desk over there. This is a small office, but so it's just over there, 8 feet, 10 feet. But this was done by Pat Brooks, and who is an amazing artist who works with pens and Canson paper. And you know what I love about Pat's stuff? A lot. But she also just puts everything on there that it is. She has, over the years, and by the way, Pat, my first pen in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, when I moved there in 1990, was a Tombow. It wasn't a brush pen, but it was the coolest. I still have it. I just don't have the refill for it right now. I'm a pen snob, as you know, but today I'm going to simplify. So Pat and I are working on a project that's going to take a while to get moving, but it's going to happen, and you're going to hear about it. I've got to talk to you today about the painting show that's coming up, because the deadline to sign up for Rue 857, which will be held on a private Facebook page, Rue 857, is Monday at about 8:57 in the evening. Yes, doesn't that make sense? So at 8:57, the registration cuts off, and that's for September. I will open it back up. You can register for the October one if you want to continue that. People say, is it a repeat? No, it's never a repeat with me, because I don't remember what I did the day before. So here we go. So Pat, thanks for this. I love to keep this up here. It reminds me sometimes of like, that guy should get a haircut. And I had on my other glasses, I think, when she painted this. Now I'm on the clear glasses. I just ordered a pair yesterday, by the way, another pair. That's a little closer. No, she just put the colors in there that are grand. Okay, so here's what I want to do today. I want to paint something for you, and then I want to tell you why I painted what I painted. But in the process, I want to answer a couple questions. Several of you are saying things like this. You're saying, what if we are part of the painting, the class, Rue 857? What if we're part of that class and we can't find the exact paint you're painting with? So what if we can't find the exact paper? So what if I can't find the exact pens? So paint with what you have. If something's back ordered, if something's delayed, if you already have good art supplies and you like those art supplies, they're part of your style, your vision. All I'm trying to do is, I'll tell you what I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to make another 50 rooster painters out there. I'm good at handling the rooster market. I like it well. I just want to use my style of painting roosters to help you branch off into any style and voice that you might have. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I thought I'd do with that, let me just go ahead and do this. If you had some Winsor Newton paints like these, this is a little Winsor Newton box. Okay. By the way, I love this stuff. Now I have added a few colors here. I've added the yellow that I like and the turquoise that I like and the blue that I like. And that is the red. So red, yellow, blue, and turquoise. Everything else came with this Winsor Newton palette. I've painted a lot of paintings out of this. Here's a larger Winsor Newton one. Okay. Here's the problem too. I have a weakness in art stores. I go in and I go, now I know why I spent so much money in college that my kids had to pay back most of the loans, but I know why the money that I was loaned and helped them through college. We paid for went for art supplies. I go like, really? You need that many art supplies? The answer is no, but yes, you do. So this is Winsor Newton, okay? And those tubes look like this. There, little skinny little tubes, and I buy small tubes. By the way, a tube like this, you're asking me, will 8 milliliter tube or 15 milliliter tube be enough to do this class? Are you kidding? You could paint roosters or dogs or cats or pigs for the next 6 months with this. I have some painted here. This paint's 2 years old, and I keep it tight. I keep it all in a little box like this with a lid on it. And so I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about here. Let me throw out here. If you have Da Vinci paint, there it is right there. If you have American Journey paint, if you have HW paint, which is Holbein Artist watercolors, there's an Indian yellow. If you have, if you have QOR, if you have Daniel Smith, you know what? Just there's so many good paints out there. I have grown accustomed to and love, right after I first started, because I was up in Boone, I wandered around in Cheap Joe's store, Cheap Joe's art stuff, and I got hooked on the boldness and the color of American Journey paint. I don't think it's the greatest paint made, but I think it's the paint that fits my style really, really well. And then I didn't worry about if it was the greatest or the best or least or where it falls on the scale. I never worried about that. You know, if I ever go to a place and someone says, oh, you're painting with Van Gogh. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I go, yeah, what was wrong with his work? Or you're painting with Winsor Newton. Oh, I'm sorry. I paint with this. I go like, really? Well, enjoy it. So that's where I want this to hold, okay? So, in fact, I'm gonna throw you a curveball big time today. Look at this. Let me get rid of that orange. I'm gonna start with 3 colors. I'm gonna close my normal palettes. Here they are right here. Boom. This, of course, is a Van Gogh box, but it has American Journey colors in it in the pans. All right. Some of you know I paint from small pans. These are half pans inside an Altoid box. Okay. This is what I travel with. A small brush, sometimes an aqua brush or water brush, a little paintbrush. I carry this in my pocket. I have another one of these, and look what I just started this morning. This is a silver box. Is that cool? I'll probably never get rid of my Altoid box because it's just so campy and cheesy, and it's just available to everybody for $1.60. This is a silver box, and I've just put 3 half pans in it. Now I have to decide, other than my yellow, my red, and my blue, and my turquoise, and my black. Oh, I just decided. And my gray. Well, there they are. They're my 6 colors. That's it. I don't need anything else to go on a trip and paint my journal in France. Actually, Israel next year, I hope. Okay, so I'm throwing you a curveball. I closed all my palettes. They're all shut. I'm going to pull off something you've probably never seen me use in 110 or 12 days, and it's a porcelain palette that I did some acrylic in, and it's still all stained out. But I've got 3 clean holes here, so watch this. Hope that music's not too loud. Is it beautiful silver box? Okay, here we go. All right, so here's the cool thing, and Pat, you just said it, and you mentioned it to me. The great thing about this, about art, is that you just get to create. And listen to me for a second on this. I am pontificating on Saturday morning, and I'm not even Catholic. Here's the thing. You get to create. You get to throw some supplies down. Okay, you're not creating from nothing because someone else has helped you put this together, but that doesn't keep you from being innovative and creative. You get to create just like the Creator created the earth. You get to go, I'm going to make something out of this. So that is when you start thinking like an artist. Think like an artist. Think like an artist. You go, well, what does that mean? It means that you, when everybody else is doing this, what if you did this? Or what if your style lended over here? Most of the time, what stops people and stifles people and stuffs their creativity is when they worry too much about what other people think about what they're doing with their art. That's just where it lies right there. You go, well, if I do this, this person won't like it. I didn't start painting roosters to hope that everybody liked them. I started painting roosters to help me tell my stories. I started doodling because I love to doodle and I love pens and I love paper. And then they just connected. I did a painting yesterday for a friend. No, it wasn't a painting. It's a doodle. It's a sketch. I'm going to reach down here and get it for you. Here it is right here. His name is Bacon. His name is Bacon. Okay? Here, let me go to this shot right here. His name is Bacon, Doug Bacon. Okay? He has a great company called Throwing Words. And you got to like that. I've been with him several times and consult with him sometimes just here and there. His last name is Bacon. So he said, one day I saw you do one of your Roodoodles business cards, which I'm still painting, for someone just in a couple of minutes. And that person said, I'm taking that home and putting it on the fridge. He said, I wish I had a card like that. And so he called me last week and he said, I think I'm going to learn to draw a pig. And I said, that is fantastic. Just get yourself a little drawing, and come in with a pig. And I said, but I'd have to draw a pig sitting down because, I don't like to draw things with four legs. It just takes up too much time for me. So I drew him this yesterday, a couple days ago. And I said, there it is right there. See it? It says, in your search for the right pig, don't use a boar in a tie. All right. So this is a little sketch. It's with my fountain pen, and I just touched it with a little water here. That's all it is. This is Fabriano Ultra White. But here's my point. When you don't think like an artist, it's very easy, and you got to be careful that you don't become a boar in a tie, that you just become like one stuffy other person who paints something that everybody else has seen that doesn't connect. Sorry, I'm trying to turn my music down here. All right, so does that make sense? All right, here we go. So brand new switch. Watch this. I'm going to do something really crazy here this morning. Been talking a lot. I'm going to put my yellow right here. Look, I'm just putting a little yellow in there. That's it right there. I'm not measuring. I'm just dropping it in there, and I'm going to put in, hadn't even had the top off of these in a while. I'm going to put my red right there. There it is. I hope that's enough. I'm going to pretend that it is. It's going to be enough to do this painting, I think. And then I'm going to put a little blue in right here. And that's the only three colors I'm going to use this morning. There they go. Okay? There it is. All right. People are always worried about the paper too. Are you using Arches paper? Are you using Kilimanjaro paper? Are you using Swarthmore or Canson? Or are you using, who knows? There's so many brands. Are you using Fluid 100, hot press, cold press? Use some of the paper that you have. Here we go. So this is going to be my palette. Right there it is. I'm going to use a round brush. This is a number 7. Just an interlocking nylon. Nothing fancy. No outrageous hair. I'm going to use a piece of paper that's... I'm not even going to use this Kilimanjaro paper first. I'm just going to reach in here and get one of the fly pages. That's the little doodle page in the center. See, this is only about 24-pound paper. It has a little bit of a coat on it so you can doodle on it a little bit, but I'm just throwing I'll use a piece of this later. Okay, a simple pen. So this is it right here. There it is, and a little bit of water in a mason jar. That's it. All right, ready? So I'm doing this for everybody to see because we're not going to start the class here. And what I'm doing also this next week, I'll open the page up next week sometime, and I'm trying to get some information on the page so you can start to get your area set up and your paints and papers together. Don't rush. Got plenty of time. And I'll have some videos on the page when I open it up. Right now, you're just queuing up. If you've purchased the show, there's a link on the bottom of that page about calendars. You can go there, and it'll put you in a holding pattern. I'll click in, and everybody's admitted to the page, and we'll go from there. That starts on the 9th. I'll still be painting Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes Saturday. Sometimes when people come by. All right, so I'm thinking I just want to do kind of a rough little sketch. I'm not even going to do a pencil sketch. I'm just going to do a pen. And this is a Pentel 05 Energel pen. By the way, confusing if the company does, but this is the same pen. Yeah, doesn't look like it, does it? Same pen, identical needle point. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do almost a folk painting here, just really loose. I know you're surprised by that. All right, here we go. Two roosters on this, or maybe a hen and a rooster. I don't know. Yeah, I do because I sketched a pencil once. So I'm gonna try it. All right, so this one's looking down a little bit. Look at this. My pen is loose, if my arm wasn't laying on the desk, I could be a little looser. I'm holding my pen back here, and I'm just letting this fly. I see this leg coming down like this. There's a foot. This one's coming over. Something's afoot. All right, maybe this one's up here. I think this is the way I did my other sketch I want to show you this morning. So, all right, look at that. How fast did that come together? And this is, by the way, this is a thin piece of paper. People are always saying, gosh, well, what if that paper, isn't it just going to wrinkle up and crumble up? Well, hey, I'm in charge of the water department, okay? I decide how much water goes on the paper. There's some artists who say, well, you must take your entire sheet of paper and soak it in a tub, and then you have to let it out and let it cure for 10 hours or 4 hours, and that raises the grade. I'm going like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm traveling on a train. I have a journal. I just went by Monet's garden and I saw the chickens. I want to paint those chickens. They were flipping up dust. They were doing whatever. I might even put a lily pad over here, or I might even put a peep down here that they're looking at. Here's one right here. I think I did that in the other drawing too. I did this sketch last night just to see if I could do it in a matter of minutes. All right, so watch this. So now I'm just going to take these three colors right here. And so I'm going to say, let's start with the red because that starts at the top. And let's just start piling some in there. Now, if this red doesn't go on this color as smoothly, then guess what I can do? I can add a little more water. When I add water, just like painting your house, it thins out the color. If I want thicker color, I leave it a little thicker. And look what happens. I get more pigment. Clever, isn't it? Who thought of that? All right, since the dawn of time, people have been painting that way. Okay, these are Winsor Newton colors. And by the way, certainly through the camera, and in fact, right now, you really can't tell these are any different from the colors that I've been painting with. Maybe the yellow is a little bit thinner on its boldness, but if it does, I'll just drop a little of this red in there and just create a little more orange to it. Okay, like that. Look at this. I just want these colors to bounce a little bit more. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do this right here. I'll probably go over here and finish. No, watch this. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go over here, and while I'm doing the red, I'm just going to do the rest of the red right here, okay? Just go grab this. I think you can see me dipping here in these colors. So I just wanted you to know I'm not using any more colors than what I just put out, those three right there, okay? All right, I'm going to grab that. Hey, Lucy Buck, come in. Pull up a chair, my dear. My granddaughter is here this morning. You can shut that door if you would. That'd be great. Whoa, Lucy is here. She just hit the camera. Welcome, Lucy. All right. Lucy is one of 6 grandchildren, and she's one of the middle children, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucy went to bed late last night and reading. And hey, I came up and turned off your light really late. You were sound asleep. All right, so take a look what's happening. Now, you see the paper buckling a little bit? Well, it should be because I'm painting on a piece of nifty-50 notebook paper almost. Okay, so here we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just add a little touch of water onto this paper and just moisten it a little bit. And I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab a little bit of this blue. This is an ultramarine blue, and I want a little thinner in here. Look what's happening. Oh, by the way, thinking like an artist means that I don't even have to stay in the lines that I sketched. That's not a big deal. But I want a little bit of green in here, so I grab some of that yellow, and I'm just kicking up a little bit of this with some green. And then I want a little bit of this red right here, and I want a little bit of the blue on the red. And now I'm using the paper as my palette. I'm still not mixing any paint here. I'm keeping these as pristine as I can. That's a good thing to learn when you're first doing. Don't start doing all this over here unless that's your palette and it develops into that. But here's the thing. If I mix these two now, they are not good for tomorrow. And so I'm keeping a clean brush going back into my pristine paints every time, and I'm mixing here. That's just my style. If you would rather work on a big porcelain palette, like my daughter paints on a palette yay big, that's Lucy's mom. She paints like this, and her palette stays in just clumps, but she knows when she pushes her brush in between that purple and that blue and a little touch of that gray or white, she's going to get the lavender or the look she's exactly looking for. And that's how she works. So you're going to develop your own style as you go through this. I'm just trying to get you to say, art should not be something that you go, well, it's going to take me 6 weeks to do this, and I don't feel like giving it away because, or selling it because I've got so many hours invested in it. But also, if that's the way you tell stories, that's fabulous. Okay, so you see where this is going? And this is on, look at this. This is on just a piece of notebook paper. Okay? What I do here is I'd probably come in and just peel a little bit of yellow in here to this peep. Rinse out my brush. When you hear that sound, grab a little bit of red here, a little bit more yellow here, and I just want him to be kind of a little orange, and heighten the beak on this one here too, just a little bit. I want his beak to be a little orange, his or her. And then I'm going to need some of this, I'm going to need a tad of grass down here, so we just add a little bit of yellow, and then we come in and add a little bit of blue. Almost lost my head there for a minute. Okay, and so we're just going to rub that together with a little more of this, and we're going to get the green that I need down here. See it coming through now? There it is. Nice little spring grass look. I'm going to need a little bit of this yellow on the legs right here. And then I'm going to touch a little bit of this red and come in there and let that make some orange. That'll just kind of be nice on the leg color. See it start to blend right there? That's the perfect color I wanted right there. All right, anyway, that's on a piece of notebook paper, people. Let me show you what it would look like on a piece of Kilimanjaro. And I did a pencil sketch late last night. This is some paper that I do recommend. I started on this because I loved it. I started on this because it was a bold paper. And by the way, I just sometimes will leave it on the sketch pad itself. And then what happens is, if I do have to rush off and I'm journeying, I can let this piece of paper cover it. Or I can do my practice sketch on this and turn it over and have my finished sketch. So this is Kilimanjaro, 140-pound watercolor paper. It's cold pressed, and it's 100% rag cotton, okay? Cotton rag, I think they call it. It's acid-free. There's 20 sheets in here. And so I'm just going to do the same thing that I just did. I might go in and just add a little bit of pen in here, just to highlight a couple features that I want, like the eye. There's the eye on that one, the eye on this one. But I think I'm just going to paint it like it sits. Okay, so I think you can see it well enough. I'm going to put it right here. I'm still using the same palette, but I'm putting it where you can do that, okay? All right, so far, and people are going to start telling me, yes, Donnie, you just did. You love Mission Gold, see what I mean? But, you know, you're going to have there's so many millions of colors of paints. Look, when I was in Sennelier, the oldest art store in France, just to walk in there and smell Gamsol and oil paint and see brushes, I mean, it was phenomenal. And so we bought a pad of paper. My wife bought some oil pastel sticks. And then she said, what are you going to buy? And I go, you know, I have my bag and I have my journal pad. I have my journal. I have this little tin of my colors. I have my water brush and my other brush. I don't need anything. And I painted my way through France for 7 days and 35 paintings just like that out of this box. That's it. That's all the paint I had there. And I was standing in the oldest art store in the world, and I just really didn't feel the urge to spend more money. So, all right, so here we go. Watch this. So I'm just taking my paint and I'm putting it back in. Now, watch what happens with this paint on this paper. Man, it really jumps. It doesn't cause the paper to warp. It doesn't run in. So at some point in time, you're going to say to yourself, man, I wish I had some good paper Canson paper is great. Strathmore paper is great. You can buy it from big box stores. You can even buy paints from Hobby Lobby that do a pretty good job. I just became a fan of, as I say it again, American Journey and Joe Miller, some of Joe Miller's paint and his work. And so I got hooked early on because I think what hooked me was the journals. I think I just really wanted to start traveling around and just sitting on a park bench with a cup of tea and a cup of paint or a cup of water and painting. Yeah, that's how I paint out of my tea, right? So, all right, so look at this. This lets me kick this out a little bit and it stays in shape. This is one of the things that watercolor will do. It lets me connect. So Lucy, you ready to hit the day?
Yeah.
And you think we should go have some breakfast after this?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. I think so too. I don't think I'm going to make pancakes today. I think we're going to probably go to that place that you like to eat out really well. Dunkin' Donuts. We'll grab our mask and we'll go do some Dunkin' Donuts shelf shopping. Might be a little late today. We'll see what they got left when we get there. Okay. So all I'm doing is using these same three colors over and over and over. But look at this. If I go right in here and I want some green in this one, look, I just dropped this brush up in there. Look at that green come through. Okay, so I'm mixing on the page as my palette. Can you see that coming together? Grab a little yellow here. This is still the amount of, it looks like there's more paint in here. I haven't added any. That's just where my brush is starting to pick up a little bit of water and drop it in here. And I see where I contaminated this color just a little. Added a little extra green in there. So I'm just going to go make a mess on that paper towel and dip some of that out. All right. I think you can still see. These are the same amounts that I pushed in. It wasn't a large amount. It's kind of a small amount, actually. All right. Now, if I did want to mix up some color, I've got this little tray right here. So watch. I'm going to drop a little yellow in here. Had a little green still in that brush. Didn't clean it out well enough. All right. So I'm being chintzy, cheap with my... All right, so a little red. Red's always overpowering. I'm going to work this up until I get a little bit of a nice orange that I would like on the leg. See that? That's good. Okay, and I'm going to paint my legs with this. And I don't think that's enough orange, so I'm just going to put a little more red in there. Yeah, Lucy, I'm hungry. Now that I started talking about donuts, I think I'm going to need a sour cream or something, you know. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I might use some of this orange just in the bird here. And I might let this one's beak be orange. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay. And I might let these peeps over here be orange too. See them right in there? They were hiding over by the leg. Whoops, I guess they are hiding by the leg. There they are there. I got to get the painting in there. Excuse me when I do that. I've blown this up a little bit so you can see close what I'm doing, but I'm almost too close, so hold on. Let me go down just a smidge. There we go. All right. So the reason I call this folk art is because it's even loose for me. And it's a little jumping around, and then it's just got some swirls, and these roosters look like they're doing the morning dance. In fact, that'd be a good title for this. Shaking a leg. Shaking a leg. All right, see how easy that goes together, though? I mean, this is a great little, this paper is so fun to paint on. All right, so I can get a little bit of this. Put it in here. Let me just make a color that I don't have. Watch this. I'm going to put a little red in here. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in here. Look what's happening. Can you see that mix right there? Oh my gosh. He's come up with some brown out of those three colors. And you know, this is going to take you back to Miss Skelton's third grade class where she said, okay, students, you only get three colors today, but I'm going to ask that you find all the colors in the rainbow out of those three. Those are the three primaries right there that I started with. So you get a feel for how that goes together. So sometimes you don't need a palette with 15 colors in it to start because then you don't know what color to choose. This really limits me, makes me paint a little faster, makes me paint a little quicker, and then it makes me paint a little looser because I just have to choose what's there. I don't have the option to say, oh, I'm going to use that umber with a touch of, and I go like, I don't even know what that is. Some of those guys only had 3 or 4 colors because they made their own colors. And I think I told you the other day, maybe I was telling someone that first time I met Japanese artist Macchiato, he he had spent 12 hours the week before um, grinding up oyster shells for his white. And I'm going like, you did what? Mine comes out of a tube. So, um, all right, I think this thing needs a little bit of a dust kicking up on the bottom. So I'm going to come in here because it's a dance. This guy's got his leg up right here. And we're just going to splatter that around a little bit right there. Just dirty this up. Put a little bit here. I think it needs a little bit of a soft blue splatter up in the sky. Maybe some coming off here like this. Maybe just a touch of a little bit of a yellow splatter. Love it. Okay, so there you go. So there's a quick little painting called The Dance. Didn't know what this was going to be called when I did it, but there it is. Okay, so how quick can that be, huh? Two roos and the peeps. I could come in here and do a little more detail on these peeps like this. I could even come in here and do a little detail if I wanted to. I'm being careful not to touch the watercolor paint here. I could put in a couple black strips from my pen. This is where I like the gel pens because you can sort of write over this. I put a little detail in the feet here. Not too much because this is a very folk art, loose looking painting. And so I want it to be sort of ramsackled and loose. I don't want it to look like I was trying too hard. Okay, so there you go. There's painting. All right. All right. And by the way, who told me that? Hazig when most other people sang. I love that, Alex. Thank you, man. Trish says, I have a palette with some porcelain, large trays for food. Yeah, you know what? I always wanted to have a restaurant. I didn't really want to have one because all my friends who had restaurant businesses says, don't ever do this. Especially now, man, some restaurants I'm sad for so many restaurant owners, but I always wanted, my wife has a tray for hors d'oeuvres that's in the shape of a palette. And I always wanted a restaurant called Palettes. And it was just a little bite-sized thing. So you could come out with your thumb hooked in the ring and carry it around. Yeah. When you open those cabinets, oh my gosh, I think you can feed 120 people here. Not that they're all coming over right now, I hope. But hey, thanks, Lori, for loving my sense of humor. It's the only one I've got. So what's the name of the blue and yellow you use, Carol? It depends on the paint. Most of the time I use, it's on my, if you're getting ready to take the painting class, it's there. It's Cheap Joe's. It's Gambo G yellow, ultramarine blue, and it's a Joe's red or a bold red or a hot mama red, or it's one of those reds. In this case, what I just painted with this morning was, I think these are CAD paints. So this is a cadmium red deep hue, H-U-E, not H-U-G-H. Hey, hue. This is a cadmium yellow, and this is an ultramarine blue. So really, I stayed in the same vein. I just painted with these three Winsor Newtons. Did you see how little a paint I painted with that? I just put in here. And by the way, there's enough paint here to do 4 more paintings. I'd probably have to add a little bit more yellow, but it was the least one. I added more as I went along. And I thought I'd be a little heavy in the blue because I wanted the blue tail feathers. Could I come in here and add a couple more strokes of red right here to just give that a little punch? You betcha I could. I could do anything I wanted. But there's a point, too, where you say, put the brush down and back away from the easel. That's a done painting. Okay? All right. So let me paint one more thing for you this morning and then pop a couple questions here. Here they are. Let me tell you this. Good morning, Jethro Bodine. Hey, buddy, I hope the parrots are well wherever you are. I love trying different things. Love it. Going to try ducks because I have pet ducks. Okay, so most people paint ducks white with an orange bill. But that's not true in all ducks, okay? So get some turquoise in there, paint some mallard heads, and put some different color feathers in there. Have those ducks ham it up. Have those ducks dress up, okay? Carla's always wanting me to paint ducks, and I'm going like, no, I'm not doing that. Just moved up from Texas a few weeks ago, Jan Campbell says. Fly, baby, fly, as Patricia says. All right. Hey, people are saying, hi, Lucy, hi, Lucy, hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Lucy says hi. Lucy came in this morning, has on her Young Life shirt. Yes, we've done orange and purple and white and Carolina blue and white. There you go, Skeeter. Yeah, late, but you're here. Terry Tardy, good to have you this morning. Pat Hahn, Normandale, Palm Beach Gardens. Well, you're way on down there, but I know Palm Beach. Yes. Um, okay, howdy from Texas. Let's see. Thank you, Crystal. Good morning. Beverly Miller. Good morning. Um, okay, let's see. Man, there's so many people saying hi this morning. I appreciate it. Let's see. Mark Langston. Good morning from Colorado, buddy. Mark Langston owns one of my paintings, and Mark Langston, I think of you quite often. Let me show you why right here. I'm reaching into my pocket, leaning back in my chair. There's the reason I think of you, Mark Langston. It's a silver dollar. It's 1974. That's the year that I got. No, this is 1972. That's the year I graduated high school. I gave my 74 to one of my grandkids. They all have a silver dollar. One day, Mark called me and said, hey, I want to buy that painting, I think, for my daughter. I think it was like coat of many colors, something like that. You know, it was a rooster with a coat of many, almost like this one. His daughter was in the play, I think, at the time. And so I said, well, friends and family, it's going to cost you $5. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, $5. I don't know whether you're saying what because it's high or low, but it's going to be silver dollars to you. And so I think you said, where am I going to get all the silver dollars? I think you've done that twice for me. So anyway, I think this one came from Colorado. I don't know where it came from. Zoe, glad you're here. Mike Pratt, good morning. No firewood today. It's raining. Wait. Ducks and people are waterproof, Mike Pratt. So get back out there and split some firewood. I love it that it's firewood. You know, I love that because of our hillbilly thing through Young Life. And I can say that without offending anyone because I grew up in the sticks, which is close to firewood. But you say firewood, but really there's no fire today. So that wood today is far. It's too far to go out and get it in the water. So see, I was going to tie that together. All right. Hey, guys, thank you for saying hello. I'm not done yet, but I'm going to paint something else here. But I wanted to move this out of the way. So take a look at it. It's drying nicely. It's called The Dance. And there it is. I'll probably post it today. I'm going to rip it off of here. There it is. I'll trim this off. And let me tell you something else I don't worry about. I don't ever worry if my paintings are the right dimensions. That's not my problem. That's the framer's problem. So don't let the size of the paper or determine how big your painting needs to be or it doesn't. I do small works for a simple reason. I like to finish quickly. It keeps me loose. I also like that people have some wall space somewhere to hang a small painting. I had this conversation with a friend this week about paintings that are 2 to 3 feet, and I have some in my house. I have one that's 4 by 4 feet, not of roosters and not that I painted, by the way, but it's something that we have to save up for a long time, and we don't know if it'll be on the market or, you know, people walk through and they go, I love that painting, but I just don't have a place to hang it. So as an artist, I say, that's not a problem with my work because I'm going to give you some little paintings. I'm going to let you paint something that's kind of small and have some fun with it. And so you say, well, I wish you had painted this. I wish you hadn't have gotten it so close to the edge. And I'll go, a framer can handle that. I wish it had turned out just like it did. See? Okay, I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to grab a piece of paper here. And watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a little paper slicer right here. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off this piece of paper. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm just going to cut 3 inches off. And I'm going to paint on both pieces. Here we go. All right, so let's do something really fast here. I'll use the same palette this morning. I don't want to just crank up the other paint right now. I might change brushes. I'm going to go with a bamboo brush. Okay, this is a number 1. This is probably a number 2 or 3, a 3 maybe. Bamboo brushes just look like the end of a mop that kind of that lived in the 60s, kind of like my head. But what happens when you wet a bamboo brush is, look at it, it just tends to take a nice little point. Bob Burgess, if some of you know who he is, Bob paints people with a brush kind of like this. It's not really a bamboo brush, but he paints these people by putting a lot of paint in his brush, just rolling it in there, and then he does a little circle for their head, and then he presses the brush down like this, and then he drags it down like this, and then he sweeps off at the last minute, and he just makes a little person. See that? Ha! He does. He's made a good living just painting people. I think he calls them carrot people or something, but he just goes, wait, let's paint another one here. So this one's going this way, and he's standing over there. So there's two people who they're disappointed. Look, this person's saying, shucks, I wish I could paint like that. This one's going like, oh, I'm going to the market. All right. I don't know if he's ever done a dog like that, but that'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it, if he did a little dog like that too. There you go. It's a Frenchie, like your dog. Lucy has a new Frenchie at her house. Oh my gosh, that dog is like a piece of bologna. It's just like a roll of bologna. All right, you see that? I just painted on that. And so I love this bigger brush sometimes. So that's what you get with a bamboo brush. Here's this. Let's do a hen just for fun, okay? Here's a little French blue hen. She's got a bigger wattle here. She's got a little lower comb like this. Sometimes she's got a little bit of eyelashes. I always like to put that on my hens. She's her chest starts out here like this. That'd be the chicken breast. I don't know if you can say that on internet. I'm just kidding. Okay, so it comes down like this. Look here. We're going to go here. And then she's got this big old fluff on her leg. And then she's got some... And I think both her legs are kind of close together. She's in charge today, standing there on the hillside. She's got a wing that comes down like this, and that's the hen. And I do mostly French blue hens, but I'm going to add a little bit of gray in this one. Uh-oh. Do I have any gray? See if I got some in one of these palettes that I can open up here. Yeah, there's a little bit right there. Here, I'll just wet that down for a second. There's a little bit of gray right there. I want a little bit of gray in this, so I'm going to change my plan of attack. I did the first one just 3 colors. Give the old man a break. Okay, so there's a little bit of gray. All right, so I'll grab that in a second. All right, so what I'm going to do now is this on a 6x6 piece of paper. This is 140 pound. I don't even know what it is, and I'm worried about it. It's probably fluid paper, Flame 100, something like that. So it's good paper. I really like it, actually, and I painted with it quite a bit. It's a little less textured than my Kilimanjaro. It's not completely 100% rag cotton, but this paper's, takes some time to get used to. Okay, so I'm just taking my brush and I'm controlling the amount of water. Like I'm dipping it, but I'm scraping some of the water out, or I'm dabbing the water on a pad like this. Some things you can't see me do that I'll talk to you about in the class. So I didn't want all that water, but I wanted something. I want more. So this time I just dropped a big drop on there. But I'm just letting this water, and I still have some holidays where the water has not filled up all the places. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to grab some of this paint, just roll my brush in it very carefully. And then I'm just going to come in and just touch the top of this. And then watch this. I'm going to pick up this piece of paper, and I'm just going to let the paint roll down. Look what's happening. The watercolor painting is painting itself. I'm going to go back this way a little bit. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go here. I like a little dark, more right around the legs. Now I'm going to quit and put it down, because if I don't, I'm going to fill up all the stuff that I don't want to fill up. So I'm going to drop some of these edges off right there. So now I've got myself a little blue hen. I'm shadowing it so you can see that's not all white. There we go. Okay, now let me grab a little smaller brush, clean out this one. I'm going to go with a little smaller bamboo brush. If you don't have a bamboo brush, this round tip works just fine. A number 3, a number 6, a number 7, a number 4, anything works fine. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of that gray up here. So this is French gray, or just any gray that's a light gray. This is a dark harbor gray. I think in fact, this is called Getz, G-E-T-Z. I just talked to my friends the Getz yesterday. This is not their paint. This is Getz gray. This is, it used to be Sag Harbor gray, and now it's French gray, but just some little nice gray that's got a lot of white in it. A little extra water in this brush, a little of this gray mixed up. And I'm going to go in here and just touch some of this like this, because I just like the way that color bounces around with that French blue. gives a little bit of character to the feathers. And notice I didn't stroke it. I didn't paint it. I just daubed it in there. That's an official art term. Okay. Did you know that was an official art term, Lucy?
No.
I just made it up. All right, let's go get a little bit of this red. I don't use a lot of cad colors. They used to say that cadmium was a metal, but now they make a cad that's really not metal. It's pretty funny. These are pretty safe watercolors. I notice a lot of oil painters today paint with gloves on, and they do that to just protect their skin because of what might be in the paints. But I notice Bob doesn't do that. He uses a lot of acrylic, man. He just throws paint everywhere. I like to watch him sometimes. His name is Bob Burgess. He's a good painter. He's phenomenal. I mean, tons of people follow that guy. Oh my gosh. He's very, very, very good at what he does. All right, I'm reaching up here without mixing some more paint up. I'm just reaching into one of my old palettes and I'm stirring up what I might call some leg color here, okay? Maybe a touch of this. That's what all this is used for. It's about the only color that I mix outside of the painting itself is just a little bit of something to put on the beaks and the legs sometimes. I just want it to look a little differently. And I've got a big brush, but I'm not worrying about if I get in all those spaces. The holidays, the white spaces, not only do they not bother me, I try that sometimes just to keep it like I want it. I like it like that. Okay, so now I'm just making some lines down here that might show the earth and some shadows, and I'm drifting those over like this. And grass for me is just a few sprigs, I think because I modeled it after my own yard. Hey, am I excited that I cut my grass yesterday? Because it's raining today, huh? I cut my grass last night at about 7:15. Once it cooled off. My neighbors are going, what's he doing now? But I have, because I work for a tool company and I do commercials for them, one of the products that I demoed a few years back was an electric lawnmower. And so I cut my grass with an electric lawnmower. I can cut the thing at night with a flashlight on the front, and it doesn't wake up anybody. No cranking, no fuss, no gas, no oil, no muss. Just two 40-watt batteries or 40-amp batteries. Man, that thing is just fabulous. I love it. All right, a little bit of blue and yellow here left. Let's just make some green right there. Look at that. That's the last bit of my yellow in there. And I'll just go in with this green right here and just give this a little hillside. I might go back and do what I did a minute ago. I might take a little of this and put it in here, the little blue. Might try to get myself a little bit of brown dirt mixed up. There it comes. There comes the brown. See it? Yeah. The rule of thumb is that you can mix all colors on the palette, and if you put in enough paint and mix, you're going to get mud. Yeah, so that's trying why I keep my brush sort of clean. All right. I think I'm just going to do one sweep across here with some water, just a little spot right there. The water's kind of looking dirty now and dingy, but I kind of like that. I'm just going to touch the blue and sweep it in a little bit. I don't want much here. That's too much. If you put too much in, you can go get it out by just taking a clean paper towel and going pop. It erases. But now I think I took out too much, so I want to put some of it back. You know what we're listening to, Lucy? You recognize that music?
No.
The music is called The Last Ship by Sting. And I'm playing it very low in the background. I don't think their company will mind. I've done more to promote it than anybody else. Okay. There's the hen.
You should put peeps in front of her.
You think I should?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they doing? They just looking out? Lucy said I should put a peep in front of her.
Facing towards her.
Oh, facing towards her.
She's standing up straight, so.
Oh, well, maybe they're looking at something over there, though. So let's put a peep right here then. Lucy thinks I should put a peep right here. That's imitating the mom. All right, then we'll do it. It's in. She's there. There's a little peep right there.
I have the best idea.
You have the best idea?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Lucy's got an idea. Here we go. Hold on. What is it?
So what if you put a bunch of peeps in front of her and they're on a field trip to go see the wheelbarrow?
Well, thank you. Is that a plug that I didn't even ask you for? Lucy said you should put a bunch of peeps in there and they ought to be lined up ready to go on a field trip in a wheelbarrow. Lucy, you might get into marketing and you don't even know it. You just, she's just talking about my book. Hey, Roo, what's a wheelbarrow? That almost sounds like I prompted you to do that. So I didn't, though. You know, you just came up with it. Lucy is one of the voices in by the way, the book is called Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? A good time to advertise that. She said it. Here's the book. It's called Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? And it's, there's several things coming up on the website. There's one right there, too. The new mug is coming out soon. It's going to be printed. I'll probably release sales on that sometime next week. And because they're in. It says Roodoodles.com. It's got a little copyright on it. I didn't paint it. I just wanted it black and white. So that's coming to you. But here's the book. It's called Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? And it's about a rooster that takes all these peeps. There's a pig in there, but he doesn't take the pig. He takes all these peeps on a field trip around the farm. And Lucy, I brought all the grandkids into the studio, and she's one of the voices that tells the story audibly. And that link, I'm going to move over to my new website soon. It's a free link. You can go download it if you have the book. You can get the book by going to Roodoodles.com. There's an Etsy page that you can scoop up the book on there. You can order it from Amazon. It's actually it's like $4 cheaper if you order it from Amazon than me. And you go like, well, that's not right. Well, it is because I pay for the postage here, then I pay for the postage back to you, and when I get it here from the publisher, I paint an original in the front and send it to you. Sent out 6 or 7 just yesterday, I think, or day before. So they're coming to you. All right. So I'm going to change the caption on this, Lucy. Let's go get a donut. All right. So there it is right there. All right. Hey, folks, it has been fun to paint with you. Roodoodles right here. The grandkids call me Roo. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roo. I don't even know if they know my real name. Someday I'll tell them. Okay, so, hey, thanks for jumping on. Mark Langston, yes, sir, buddy. What a memory, okay? How could I forget, man? I carry it. Mickey, thank you for jumping on. I have Hokey Pokey. That's right. You do have one that says the Hokey Pokey. That's right. You got a painting something like this, I think. Mike, thank you for owning some of my paintings and having them on your wall and sharing them with your family. All right. Hey, Jan Campbell, thank you. Irma, thank you so much. I appreciate your generosity. Let's see. Ding. Wow, I'm just looking to see any other. Managed to slip in at the last moment. Carly, you managed to slip in. I was just talking about you. Somebody's going to paint ducks. And I said, I think you've got that sewed up. So, all right. Hey, folks, thank you for jumping on. I'm going to post this painting today called The Dance. There it is right there. You saw me paint it. Next week, there'll be an email that comes out probably to everybody just to say thanks for subscribing. If you want to subscribe to the Ruse Crew, you can do that. There's a link on the Facebook page. Just go down from today's link. And there's a link there. Also, if you want to sign up for the class, you can do that. It's called Rue 857, and you'll go to that link. There'll be a page there. You can scroll through it. At the bottom of that link, there's also a page. I just lost my camera, I think. Oh, Siri just is talking to me now. Now Siri's jumped on. Siri,
sorry, I couldn't quite hear.
Yeah, good. I couldn't hear what you said either, Siri. I didn't turn my phone off, so Siri starts telling me she couldn't hear what I'm talking about. So, if
I'm
you,
not sure I'm hearing you correctly. My apologies.
so if you would like a book, you can go to Roodoodles.com. If you'd like to sign up for the page, the signups close 8:57 Monday evening for the registration on the September class. Okay, but there's a page there with all the calendar, with supplies. Don't sweat the supplies. If something's back ordered, don't worry about it. I'll keep you posted. We'll paint with whatever. That's why today I painted with a completely different palette. And if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't have known it. Just get some quality paper that you like, some paint that you like, and jump aboard and let's be creative because you were meant to create. Now, before you take the last sip of tea today and you go do something fun, like I'm going to go have a donut with Lucy, then what I'd like for you to do is send somebody a text or a note. I sent out 3 this morning, just remembering people and thinking about them. And whoever comes to mind right now, send them a note and they'll be blessed because you did. I got the sweetest note this week in a painting from one of you who said, And you asked me this about a month ago. Is it hard for me to sell or get rid of my paintings? And I said, no, that's what I make them for. And she delivered 2 of her paintings to friends. And I got a painting that's going to go up on my wall of friends. Pretty amazing. So keep doing that, will you? All right. Hey, be a community. You can do that. Be creative. Andy, you're right on. All right. Blessings to you. I'm out of here like a herd of turtles. I went over a little bit this morning, and so what's new for me to go over? Lucy, I always finish my song with, or my show with a little noise. Here it is right here.